Welcome to Golden Bachelor. If you love celebrity news and real entertainment updates, you're in the right place. The unbelievable truth begins with a woman who refused to let confusion write her love story. Cindy Cullers arrived on her golden journey hoping for something real, something honest, something steady, something that made her heart say, "Finally." For a while, she thought she found it. The way Mel looked at her, the way he held her close, the way he spun her on that dock like they were rehearsing a romantic movie scene, all of it felt like the start of something extraordinary. But love, especially televised love, has a way of surprising even the strongest hearts. Cindy believed what she saw, but she also trusted what she felt, and sometimes those two things didn't quite match. Mel had charm, warmth, and a smile that could melt a Texas summer. But behind it all, Cindy sensed hesitation. Not coldness, just uncertainty. And for a woman who knew exactly what she wanted, uncertainty felt like an unwelcome guest knocking on her heart. Meanwhile, Peg was building a quiet, steady connection with Mel. Nothing flashy, nothing forced, just gentle, mature affection. She didn't push, didn't demand, didn't question. She simply believed in the rhythm they shared. Cindy, however, needed answers, real answers, not halfway feelings, not maybe someday promises. So when Mel kept dodging the conversations that mattered most, when he twirled her under the stars but wouldn't open up under the sunlight, Cindy realized she couldn't pretend everything felt right anymore. She didn't walk away because she had lost. She walked away because she refused to stay where she wasn't fully seen. And that choice? That was the beginning of an unexpected storm. As Cindy returned home, fans started whispering, did she know? Did she see the ending coming? Did she leave because Mel had already made his choice? Cindy answered clearly, no. If Mel had chosen Peg in his heart, he would have acted differently with her. He wouldn't have danced with her the way he did. He wouldn't have held her hand so tenderly. He wouldn't have let those quiet moments become memories that felt so real. And Cindy wasn't wrong. The truth is, Mel cared for both women, just in different ways. But when it came time to choose the direction of his future, he leaned into the calmness Peg offered. Peg with her steady smile. Peg who believed in a love story written slowly, patiently, without rushing toward a finish line. Cindy wasn't heartbroken, she was relieved. She wanted passion paired with clarity. She wanted romance backed by certainty. She wanted someone who didn't hesitate when he held her close. As she settled back into her life in Austin, she found herself laughing again, telling stories to friends who demanded every detail, reliving the adventure not with sadness, but with gratitude. It wasn't a failure. It was a reminder that her heart still had the courage to try again. And when she watched Mel slip that promise ring onto Peg's finger, she didn't feel jealousy. She felt peace. Peg believed Mel would grow into the commitment she wanted. Cindy needed someone who was already standing in that place. Their paths simply belonged to different chapters. But here's the part no one saw coming. Leaving made Cindy more confident than ever. She knew she deserved a love without guessing games, a love that didn't require decoding, a love that felt like the twirl on the dock, beautiful, natural, effortless. And she believed that kind of love was still waiting for her. Maybe at a coffee shop, maybe at an airport, maybe when she least expected it, dropping her keys in a parking lot while someone charming rushed over to help. Her story wasn't over. It was just shifting toward the chapter she was meant to write herself. Mel chose Peg, and Peg embraced the journey wholeheartedly. Cindy chose herself, and that choice lit up a future full of possibilities. Now the world is watching with curiosity. What happens next for Cindy? Who will be the man brave enough to meet her heart with the honesty she deserves? And is her next love story already on its way? Sometimes the most shocking truth is that walking away is the most romantic decision a person can make. Let us know. Do you think Cindy made the right choice? And whose love story are you rooting for? As Cindy settled back into her life, something surprising happened. She didn't feel embarrassed. She didn't feel defeated. She felt proud. Because walking away from something almost right takes more courage than staying in something almost wrong. Her friends couldn't stop talking about it. Her neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, nearly tackled her at the mailbox just to say, "Sweetheart, if he can't tell you how he feels, he doesn't deserve that smile of yours." Her best friend sent her a message that said, "You didn't leave the show, you left the confusion." Even her hairdresser insisted, "Honey, you dodged a man who needed more time to think than it takes to grow kitchen herbs." She laughed at the absurdity of it all. She had gone on a national journey for love and ended up becoming the queen of boundaries instead. But deep down, she felt lighter, freer, hopeful. Meanwhile, the world kept buzzing about Mel and Peg's choice. Peg defended him fiercely, reminding everyone that real love isn't a race, that it's not about choosing the fastest path, but the right one. She believed in Mel's heart, and she believed in the steady pace they were building together. Cindy respected that more than anyone realized, because while Peg was writing her love story with patience, Cindy was writing hers with clarity. One evening, as she was watering her plants she fully expected to kill because she had zero gardening skills, she started to reflect on something she'd kept quiet. She did feel something for Mel. She wasn't someone who pretended just for cameras. She cared. She wanted their moments to grow into something solid. She hoped their connection was as real as it felt during their quiet talks and shared smiles. But she also knew this truth. Every beautiful moment can still end in the wrong ending. Sometimes people look perfect together, but their futures don't match. Sometimes chemistry is strong, but communication is weak. Sometimes the spark is real, but the timing is all wrong. Cindy loved the spark, but she wanted more than sparks. She wanted a fire, a lasting flame, a safe, steady warmth, not flickers of uncertainty. And she knew she did the right thing. Still, she couldn't help but imagine alternate endings, just for fun. What if Mel had opened up sooner? What if he had pulled her aside and whispered, "Here's how I really feel"? What if he had surprised her with clarity instead of confusion? She imagined what that would have felt like. Soft, magical, meaningful. She imagined an ending where she didn't walk away, but walked forward, hand in hand with someone who chose her without fear. But reality is fantasy. Reality writes a different story. Her story. And that story
A few
was
days
just
later,
beginning.
Cindy went out to her favorite cafe, the one with rose-patterned mugs and pastries so good they should be illegal. She sat by the window, sipping tea, when an older gentleman at a nearby table attempted to flirt with her by complimenting her earrings and accidentally spilling sugar everywhere. Cindy couldn't help but laugh. He turned bright red, apologized 7 times, and then said, "I'm clearly not smooth, but maybe charming in a chaotic way?" Cindy smiled. She wasn't looking to jump into anything new, but she realized she was open. Open to surprises. Open to possibilities, open to someone who didn't need a camera crew to notice how amazing she was. And that feeling, that spark of hope, was priceless. The truth was simple. Cindy didn't lose Mel. Mel didn't lose Cindy. Everyone simply ended up exactly where they belonged. Peg got the man who matched her pace. Mel got the partner who helped him step into the next chapter without pressure. And Cindy, she got her freedom, her clarity, and her second chance at a love story written on her own terms. And something tells me, Her next chapter is going to be unforgettable. Because when a woman walks away with dignity, confidence, and her heart still open, the universe tends to send something extraordinary her way. So keep watching. Cindy's story isn't done. Her best moment might still be ahead, and the next man lucky enough to meet her will know instantly. She's the kind of woman you don't hesitate with. Now, tell us, do you think Cindy's next love story will be better than the one she left behind? Days passed, and Cindy felt herself settling into a rhythm she hadn't realized she missed. Slow mornings, long walks, coffee that didn't require a microphone pack clipped to her waist. But no matter how peaceful life felt, she couldn't escape the constant messages flooding her phone. Her sister texted, "Should I make a Team Cindy shirt, or is that too much?" Her coworker sent, "Girl, you dodged a commitment phobe. Drinks this weekend." Even a random stranger in the grocery store approached her just to say, "You looked gorgeous on TV, but you look even better without the stress." Cindy blushed, nearly dropping a bag of oranges. But she didn't mind the attention, because behind every message, every comment, every supportive hug, there was something deeper. People saw her strength. People saw her heart. People saw her choice and understood it. And Cindy knew she had made the right decision. But deep inside, a little voice whispered, "Is love still coming for me?" One evening, Cindy decided to take herself on a solo date. A movie, some popcorn, and absolutely zero pressure to impress anyone. She walked into the theater, found her seat, and settled in. Right as the trailers began, she heard a voice behind her whisper loudly, "Oh my gosh, that's the woman who walked away from national television." Cindy tried not to laugh. Yes, that was her, the woman who walked away from a man and straight into a saga of memes, fan edits, and internet theories. After the movie, someone gently tapped her shoulder. "Sorry to bother you, but I just wanted to say, the way you handled everything, inspiring." Cindy smiled, maybe a little too brightly. "Thank you," she said softly. "I just did what felt right." He replied before walking away. Most people don't. Most people stay. Most people settle. But Cindy didn't. Later that night, she curled up in bed scrolling through old photos from the journey. Pictures of her and Mel laughing. Photos of her and Peg hugging. Moments frozen in time. Beautiful, bittersweet, and honest. She paused on one particular photo, Mel twirling her on the dock. She stared at it for a moment, then exhaled, a peaceful exhale. Not sad, not angry, just done. Because she finally understood something powerful. The twirl wasn't the moment she fell for Mel. The twirl was the moment she remembered what she deserved. Someone who spins her because he wants her, not because he's unsure. Someone who can talk about feelings without needing 3 days to rehearse. Someone who chooses her with confidence, not confusion. Someone who isn't finishing one love story while trying to start another. She put her phone down, and for the first time since leaving, she whispered a simple, hopeful truth. My person is still out there. The next morning, Cindy woke up feeling different, lighter, braver, ready. She made herself a big breakfast. Eggs slightly burnt, toast slightly cold, but it was hers, and that made it perfect. She looked in the mirror and smiled, really smiled. Mel and Peg were creating their own story. Cindy was finally ready to create hers. Later that day, she got an invitation to a charity gala in Austin. She almost said no. She wasn't in the mood for big events or flashing cameras, but something told her she should go. She put on a stunning dress, the kind that matched her glow. She stepped into the room and every head turned, not because she had been on a show, but because she radiated confidence. Halfway through the evening, a man approached her. Not a fan, not someone whispering about the finale, just a stranger with a warm smile and kind eyes. "Hi, you look like someone who knows what she wants," he said gently. She raised her eyebrow, amused. "And what makes you think that?" He smiled. "Because you're standing here like a woman who didn't choose the easier path, you chose the right one." Cindy felt her heartbeat pause for a moment, not in fear, in curiosity. The kind of curiosity that starts the first page of a new chapter. She didn't know where this story was going. She didn't know if this man would matter or if he was simply a moment. But for the first time since she left, she felt a quiet spark. Not dramatic, not confusing, but real. And maybe, just maybe, that spark was the beginning of something beautiful. Because the truth was never about Mel or Peg. The truth was about Cindy's courage to walk away so she could walk towards something better. And her next chapter, it's coming. Louder, brighter, and more romantic than ever. Thanks for watching Golden Bachelor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big story.